The two sides discussed that we will have the next round of talks in the United States in September. We believe as long as both sides, on the basis of mutual respect and equality, and accommodate each other's legitimate concerns, we will find the solutions to solve the issues and advance the China-U.S. relations to develop in a healthy and stable manner. Thank you. From the 21st century. So would you please elaborate the key issues in these talks? Any outcomes from these talks? Regarding consultations this time, both sides conducted the negotiations in two subjects. One is we look back in history, we discuss what is the reason that stop our consultations, and we make our positions clear to each other. And second, we talk about what about future, which is actually to lay out the principles and methods for the next consultations as well as timelines. On top of that, both sides also talk about, based on the domestic needs, China's increasing purchasing of American agricultural products and the U.S. creating favorable conditions for such a move. It's a candid, efficient, and a constructive exchanges. Regarding the timeline, actually the time finished as planned.
Held in August, why wait until September? Is there any sense of urgency?
Thank you for your question. As you mentioned, before our next consultations in September, two teams conduct intensive discussions in August in preparation for the next consultations to be held in September, which is the meeting to be held for both leaders of the delegation. So regarding the tariff, which is the agricultural products from the United States, I would like to know which companies made their applications to the tariff commissions and what is the current progress. Thank you. According to the available information, starting from July 19th, some Chinese companies, including the private and public companies, purchasing the soybeans, cotton, pork, sorghum, and other products. They made inquiries to the U.S. agricultural providers. They already have some deals made, and also some companies also started the application process for exemptions of tariffs on this group of agricultural products. The tariff commissions right now is working on the approval process. We will release the updated information to you once we have them. Xinhua News Agency. Donald Trump signed a MOU saying that they would like the WTO to conduct a reform regarding how to define developing countries and developed countries. So what's your take on that? If U.S. take measures, what's our countermeasures in this regard? Thank you. So in this MOU, they denied some WTO members, including China's status as developing countries. This is not in line with the facts and also go against the principle and spirit of WTO. Although recent years, some developing countries enjoy a high-speed growth, overall, we see a widened gap between North and South, and this gap even growing. Developing country members still need support from macro policies in order to support them to develop in terms of economy, trade, job, environmental protection. Talk about the right to enjoy the favorable policies should be safeguarded. China, as the largest developing country around the world, in some areas, China still needs more time to catch up with the developed countries. According to a report released by WTO, China's GDP per capita ranked 86, but is still quite low. From 2000 to 2006, the personal income in absolute value actually enlarged from 43,000 to 46,000 US dollars. China's GDP is higher and increasing in a faster speed. We look at the global value chain. China is still at the middle to low end. As a responsible, large-sized developing country, China will continue to shoulder its due global responsibilities, matching its size and development status, and also firmly safeguard the legitimate rights and interests of developing countries and play its constructive role to WTO. We hope the United States will give up the wrong moves of unilateralism and protectionism and work with other WTO members to drive the WTO reform towards a positive direction. Thank you. So the follow-up questions still regarding this WTO MOU signed by the United States. They believe this also can take as a chips for the negotiation for the United States side. What's your take on that? China always reiterates that China-U.S. trade talks only can be happened on the basis of mutual respect and equality. We hope the United States be more conducive to our bilateral talks to show its sincerity and goodwill in order to create a favorable condition to carry out our talks. This is also in line with the interests of the people from both countries and world at large. My questions regarding the news released on your platform and how that related to the negative list.
在商务信用体系建设方面有关的具体的举措。
Talk about the credit system constructed by MOFCOM is a different institutional system compared to negative list or the unreliable list. The companies are to be listed will be defined carefully and closely managed. But also, on the other side, we should also safeguard their legitimate rights and interests. We also treat companies abroad and domestically as equals.
在具体的操作中，应该依据这个办法规范执行，打造更加透明、高政府监管体制。
What we want to achieve is want to create a transparent and rule-based governance in order to create a favorable conditions for all companies to do business in China. My question regarding the information released by the General Administration of Customs.
谢谢你的提问。
And what's the future about China-U.S.
是中国两国元首
or the China-Russia agricultural
双方相关部门
cooperation?
开展大豆的贸易
Talk about the China-Russia agricultural products actually is the consensus reached by the leaders of both countries. So we will focus on the end-to-end process of industrial chains
此次海关总署发布
in order to enlarge our trade size of both sides.
扩展到
The information released by the General Administration of
增加
Customs
包括海运
actually is mentioned that China would like to import agricultural products from Russia,
将有力提升中俄
not only for the single areas, actually cover the whole country of Russia. We believe this is a expansion of the soybeans trade.
进口大豆81.7万吨，
Last year,
同比增长
in size,
7%，显示出较大的。
China import
根据我们的了解，
817,000 tons of soybeans from Russia.
进口了一批俄罗斯的
July this year,
是4400吨。
Chinese companies also
中
imported
俄大豆的合作主要集中在远东地区，
4,400 tons
俄罗斯
of soybeans from Russia by sea.
积极拓展
So
对华合作。
a lot of soybeans from Russia actually was from Far East regions. We would like to see more cooperations
出口大豆，
in terms of processing, especially the coastal cities in China. We would like to see more soybeans from Russia to
在市
be
场原则的基础
exported to these coastal cities. And we also encourage the coastal cities of China to participate in this process to further release the impetus of our industrial chain
稳定的
cooperation in order to achieve win-win cooperation, and that this can be a sustainable cooperation model.
双边农产品贸易快速增长，
In the recent years, bilateral agricultural product trade increased rapidly, and this also fostered a new growth drivers for China-Russia trade.
同比增长了28.2%，创
And 5 billion trade volume were made.
中国自俄罗斯进口32.1亿美
And also a record high number.
1.3。
China imported 3.21 billion, increased by 50% from Russia. From this year, from January to May, the number reached 2.8 billion, increased by 1.9%.
同比增长14.2%。
China
可以
imported
看到，
1.45 billion from
俄罗斯
Russia,
农产品出口的主要
increased by 14.5%. It shows that China is the main destination of Russia's agricultural product export.
稳步扩大，
For next step, China would like to work with
持
Russia
续提升，
to steadily expand the market access
根据市场的需求，
and
推动双方的
facilitate
企业不断丰富
trade and investment based on the market needs.
农业种
We
植、
encourage the both
养殖
companies from both sides to have more cooperation in agricultural
可
products,
以促进
planting,
高质量发展
cultivating,
提供
processing
新的动力。谢谢。
in order to achieve high quality development in economic and trade sectors. Thank you.
新闻发言人，我是香港经济通讯社记者。美国总统特朗普请到中国不要等到他的第一个任期结束后才敲定任何贸易协议。特朗普表示，如果在2020年美国总统中他赢得连任的话，有可能没有任何协议或者更糟。请问商务部对此有何回应？
谢谢你的提问。
The question regarding the Donald Trump,
取决于双方
because
谈
he
判的
was
进
saying that if he's
程，特别是
successfully elected for the next
要
term,
拿出
he may impose new measures.
解决中方强调的
So when both sides can reach an agreement, that's depend on the process of
在
consultations.
平等和相互尊重的基础上，找到解决问题的办法。谢谢。
Especially the key concerns mentioned by China. We hope the United States can work with China on the basis of mutual respect and equality to find solutions. Thank you.
谢谢大家一个好听同志的提问。这个商务部官网上发布了公告，对原产于美国的进口正品可能进行反馈调查。请问在这个时间点上是否有什么考虑？谢谢。
谢谢你的提问。商务部于今年的6月14日收到了国内
The question regarding the MOFCOM actually initiated a probe
我们根据
regarding
中华人民
anti-dumping
共和国反捕
on the import
和
of
世贸组织的有关规定，
metacresol from United
在
States.
7月15日，商务部就申请书中指控的美国产业可能受益的
Based on the
项
WTO rules and China's
向
laws
美方
on anti-dumping.
发出磋商邀请。
On July 15,
7月26日，商务部与美国贸易代表办公室、美国商务部
China's Ministry of Commerce announced that it has started anti-dumping investment into imported metacresol from the United States. And July 16, we also had a meeting with USTR,
产业的
Ministry of Commerce,
符合
and also the Embassy of the United States to China. We had a phone
发起
conversation.
了反捕
Based
项目
on our
我们将
investigation,
公平、公正的开展
the ministry received and accept the application from domestic company because they accuse the United States manufacturers of dumping the metacresol products in the Chinese market. So the investigation will be carried out according to law.
谢谢你的提问。你提到的新加坡调解公约，规范的是企业或者个人经过调解机构的调解，达成商事和解协议
So regarding the
涉及的
questions mentioned that the agreement will be signed in Singapore next week,
中方积极参加了新加坡调解公约的制定工作。该公约的宗旨
so you mentioned
从
the
中国倡导
cross-border law enforcement.
民商事纠纷的
In the
监
past 4 years, China actively participated in the Singapore Protocol.
公约签署的相关事宜。
I believe this protocol in line with China's conviction.
这位记者好像还有问题。
Right now, China is evaluate the process for signing the protocol. Thank you.
China confirmed imminent purchases of U.S. agricultural products. Can you confirm that, and if it's the case, under what conditions will you increase such purchases?
您好，还是想补充一个问题，就是在中美双方的这个发布的关于上海谈判的公报中，都提到了要增加对美农产品进口的这个问题。那么想请您确认一下，就是说是在什么的条件下，中国会增加从美国农产品的进口？
谢谢你的提问。刚才我已经提到了，7月19日以来，一些中国的企业，包括国有企业和民营企业，已经就采购新的大豆、
As I just mentioned,
猪肉
starting from July 19, some Chinese companies,
的询价，
including SOEs and private companies,
已经有一批
the procurement of soybeans, cotton, pork, surgeon, they made inquiries to the United States suppliers, and based on domestic need, already have some deals been sealed and done.
谢谢。大家还有没有问题？如果没有问题，今天的发布会到此结束，谢谢大家。